John Lithgow, he touched my pee-pee, wearing a puppet on his hand. And then he told me to lick the puppet's butthole. I didn't make this up, this is actually a fucking movie. Yeah, you can actually see the Dumbledore to be do those things.
Knees up, Mother Brown. Come along, dearie, let it go. E-I-E-I-E-I-O. Ease up, don't let the breeze up. Ease up, Mother Brown.
The Rule of Jenny Penn is a new psychological thriller starring Geoffrey Rush and John Lithgow, as mentioned, who is slated to be the new Dumbledore in HBO's upcoming Harry Potter reboot, remake, whatever you want to call it, cash grab type thing. But the Rule of Jenny Penn, we follow Geoffrey Rush, who is a very old man who, in the beginning of the film, is a working judge who ends up suffering a stroke during a speech that he's giving in a trial, or you presume it's a stroke. It's some sort of episode that leaves him in dramatically worse physical condition. So he's now living in an assisted living home for the elderly. He has lost the ability to use his legs, and I believe it's his right hand. So he's kind of going through the ups and downs of therapy and trying to adjust to this new life of being pretty disabled. And he is he's a very snobby and kind of stuck-up character who he often recites like poetry and famous literature. He's very intellectual, and when he arrives at this assisted living home, he is he's very judgmental. He looks down on everybody else and kind of tries to really isolate himself. He doesn't put forth a lot of effort in the group activities that are held throughout the day at this care facility. And he is he's convinced that he's going to regain control of his legs and his hand within a matter of weeks, and then he's going to go back to living his normal life. And as the film goes on, it becomes more and more evident that he is probably never going to really recover from what happened. And starring opposite him in this film is John Lithgow, who plays David, I think his name is David Cleary or Creeley. David Creeley, yeah, is his name. Who by day, he kind of saunters around this facility, pretending to be very mentally ill. He has the whole staff fooled into thinking that he's this harmless, pretty severely impaired old man who, at one point in the movie, they kind of explain why he wears the puppet on his hand. It's like some sort of therapy where they were finding that some of the residents do a little bit better with coping and managing stress and emotion if they have like this, I guess it's like an emotional support doll or little puppet that you can wear on your hand. So he walks around for most of the day just wearing this puppet, and he's very kind of meek and timid And once the lights go down and it becomes nighttime, the real Dave Creeley kind of comes forward, and you realize that this dude is like an absolute monster. He is a predatory abuser of, from what appears to be pretty much everyone who is in this home. Geoffrey Rush's character Stefan, he has to share a room, and there's a scene early on in the movie where he's like passionately complaining to the staff that like there's been this huge misunderstanding. He is not to be sharing a room with anyone. He demands a private room. So again, there's that sense of entitlement and that sense of I'm not like everyone else in here. Really permeates through Geoffrey Rush's character, especially early on. But I'm on a side tangent here. Back to nighttime. So yeah, there's a scene pretty early on where I think it's the first night that Geoffrey Rush is staying in his room, and as I said, he has a roommate who is a he's like an Australian rugby player who's like a very famous kind of like legendary athlete. He's very well known, very well regarded by the public, and he has family that still come and visit him, and he has a daughter and grandchildren. And we learn pretty quickly that he has long been a victim of Dave Creeley. I don't want to spoil the specifics, other than if you're someone who does not like rapey, molesty kind of stuff. Not that they show anything graphic. It's just more of the vibe, and it's John Lithgow's performance, which is like it's really good. He's got like the busted fake teeth, and his character is just repulsive. He's nasty. This guy is nasty. And as I was saying, so Geoffrey Rush's first night, he's in his room and he has to pee, but they have to go in these like it's like a cup or some kind of container that's attached to his bed. And so Geoffrey Rush like leans his legs over and he's facing where the door would be of his room, and he's peeing in this cup. It's like 3 a.m. The camera kind of pulls back, and you can just see that his door is slightly open, and John Lithgow is just standing there, right, with this like super well lit. I think there's like some red light from like an exit sign that kind of like hits the side of his face and illuminates it, and it's so creepy. And it's just that's the beginning. Super off-putting, super uncomfortable, and it kind of just slowly keeps escalating from there. And as I said, you learn throughout the film that Dave Creeley has been victimizing the other people within the facility for decades. There's a scene somewhere in the beginning, or maybe it's about halfway, where Geoffrey Rush is kind of riding his wheelchair around the building, and he's looking at these big like staff photographs that are like across the decades. So you have like 1990, and you have the 80s, and I think he goes back to like the 60s, and he keeps looking at these pictures, and he's realizing that Dave Creeley is in like all of them. They don't ever explicitly explain in what capacity he has been in the facility. My assumption was that when we get back to like the 80s and then like the 70s and the 60s, I think he's supposed to be a staff. Like he's there as like a custodian type or something like that, because he still has like his access card, because at nighttime when he goes out and he pops into people's rooms, he has like a universal card that just kind of lets him move freely about this facility. And one thing I found weird was every time it's like nighttime and he goes out to abuse people and be a crazy person, there's like never any staff walking around. Like it just seems like he has the run of this entire facility. Like he's going outside. He's just wandering around outside. He has like a little um I think it's supposed to be like a an old building that's just used to store maybe like outdoor furniture or something like that, but he kind of uses it as a little like clubhouse where he goes out there and he'll smoke cigarettes and he talks to his doll. And that brings me to my first guess that I had wrong. So when you watch the trailer, which we'll have in this video, and you'll be seeing clips, I feel like the trailer tries to tee it up as though this doll of Jenny Penn, and I can't remember the full name. Let me see if I can Google that real fast. Probably won't be able to. It's like Jenny Pantalever or something like that. Like it's an actual. I think it's supposed to be like an actual like woman or character that this doll is just named after. But the trailer, at least in my interpretation, tried to make it seem like there was going to be some sort of like paranormal vibe or attachment with the doll. And so I kind of um throughout the movie I'm like watching, and there's some scenes that I think try to portray the doll in a very surrealist fashion, whether it's like a dream sequence or something like that. And I think the trailer kind of handpicked a lot of those scenes to make it seem like maybe this doll has some sort of, I don't know, otherworldly power about it. But yeah, when Dave Creeley's in his little clubhouse, he'll sit there and he talks to the doll. So he pretends to be a completely crazy person during the daytime, but he actually is a somewhat crazy person. He's just much more in control than he lets on. And right from the get go, Geoffrey Rush's character refuses to submit to him and kind of play into this guy's fantasies, because he basically goes around, and if he pops into your room, at some point he kind of puts the doll in front of your face. And you have to remember, a lot of these people in here have like major mobility issues. They're all very old, and a lot of them can't, especially in Geoffrey Rush's case, he can't use his legs. He can't use his right hand, so he's almost he's kind of just trapped. But yeah, Dave Creeley, he pops around, and he'll ask people like, who rules the world or something like that, and you have to say Jenny Penn, otherwise he's gonna like do something weird to you. And Geoffrey Rush throughout the whole movie kind of defies him, and they kind of go back and forth with Geoffrey Rush tries to get back at him in mischievous ways during the daytime. And then at nighttime, there's usually some sort of retribution from Dave Creeley. But other than that, I don't want to say anything else. I think that I would recommend the movie. I thought it was pretty good. It's not too long. It's in that sweet spot. I think it's like an hour and 45 minutes, which for me is pretty good. The shorter a movie can be nowadays, I'm all for it. I think it was good. I mean, the movie's definitely carried. You got two heavyweights with Geoffrey Rush and John Lithgow, who are both very good. Obviously, John Lithgow is, he steals every scene he's in, because you just don't know what this guy's going to do. And that seems to be kind of like a theme on this channel for the last two videos with Bring Her Back. We had some really strong performances, and then this movie is pretty much, like I said, it's carried by Geoffrey Rush and John Lithgow, and they get the lion's share of the screen time, as they should here. But yeah, I think it was good. I think it plays into a lot of the, I don't know if like horror is the appropriate word, but for me, like one of the scariest parts of the movie was just the way that the movie captured day-to-day life in this assisted living home. when I was much younger, I did work in an assisted living facility as a food server in the cafeteria. So I've had some exposure to this world, and yeah, man, it's scary. I think the idea of kind of losing yourself as you get older and older is pretty frightening. And then, yeah, the care inside of these places, that's sort of a recurring theme is the inability to garner any change by speaking out for yourself. Geoffrey Rush's character, multiple times in the movie, is trying to voice very valid concerns, and he's just met with deaf ears, where you're just dismissed because you're old.
Sometimes people get confused.
I'm not confused.
That sense of like helplessness and feeling trapped, and we see that with some of the residents who are being tortured by John Lithgow's character, where they really have no way to defend themselves. Like if he just chooses to come into their room at night, there's really not a whole lot they can do, which is terrifying. That helplessness. But yeah, there was a lot of like just small little like throwaway scenes where they're just showing like some of the people in this facility like try to eat or like bathing and like stuff like that, and they're just unable to, and it's like the food is like falling out. So and again, I feel like using the word horror is probably insensitive, or tone deaf, not tone deaf, tone deaf. Yeah, that part of it was pretty freaky to me. But other than that, yeah, I would give it's a thumbs up. I try to keep things simple here in terms of review. I'm not going to do any like grades or like it's an 8 out of 10 or whatever, 9 out of 10. I think it's just binary. It's just thumbs up. Yeah, I would tell people to watch it. Thumbs down. No, I probably wouldn't tell people to watch it. I almost didn't review this movie this time. I was really close to I was flipping through Apple and I saw the Minecraft movie, and I was like, do I do it? Do I dare subject myself to the Minecraft movie? I don't know if I can do it. Maybe, who knows? Maybe that'll be the next one that we do, is the Minecraft movie. I have a feeling that I would thumbs down it, and that's why I don't want to watch it, because I think in my head I'm like, I won't allow it to be even decent, right? Like I already have this. The movie's probably bad. Like there's no way it's not bad. So what's the point of watching it if that's the attitude going in? So we'll see. But The Rule of Jenny Penn. If you like psychological, creepy horror, if you want to see John Lithgow play a character who's just full crazy, and he's great, he's awesome, definitely check this out. But like I said, if you get really freaked out by like just like dirty, like rapey stuff, not that they show anything graphic at all, but it's heavily implied, stay away from it. Otherwise, that's all I've got. Whether or not we do Minecraft next time, I don't know. We probably won't, but I might want to shift away from horror. I feel like all I've been watching is horror. 28 years later, bring her back, and then now The Rule of Jenny Penn. So we should change it up. Anyways, I'll see y'all next time. Thank y'all for watching. Peace. Jenny Penn, you should have seen her. John Lithgow, get that doll off my wiener.